In tonight's main event, Chad Gable gets his hand on another Americano. This time Ryo steps up. Plus, we learn what happened to the Godfather, and while the Temple welcomes new tag team champions for the first time, we also move closer to crowning new trios champions soon. This is episode 9 of the revival of Lucha Underground, The Undertaker's reign in Turmoil. The show opened with the brilliant mariachi band Vo Pedro returning to the Temple. They introduced the episode and played their song over a loud and excited crowd. El Jefe stepped onto the stage like he did last week in his trench coat and hat, and the crowd absolutely loved it. He thanked both Natty and Prince Apollo of Lagos, who were in the ring already, for eliminating Matanza and Mil Muertes respectively, and then said he'd like them to meet the 4 competitors he has chosen who impressed him in Aztec Warfare 5, starting with the amazing Dragunov. In a night of excellent in-ring competition, these 6 talented and all very different stars did battle in a 6-way match. By way of reminder, El Jefe the Undertaker has put this match together to aid him in crowning the new Lucha Underground Trios champions. The winner of this match will get the chance to choose 2 of the losers to face the other 3 for the titles. Apollo and Natty were here because they eliminated Mil Muertes and Matanza from Aztec Warfare 5 last week, while the other 4 impressed El Jefe in the match in different ways. But it was Penta Ali who came out on top in the end, pinning his friend Prince Apollo of Lagos, following his 054 inverted 450 splash after Apollo had hit a spinebuster on Tony D'Angelo and was trying to pin him. After the match, Panther Ali grabbed a microphone. He told all of his previous opponents that winning this match unlocks a very easy decision for him. Natty, who had almost broken up the deciding pin, and Prince Apollo of Lagos will be his partners for next week, as he respects both of them and can't think of anyone else he'd like to be trios champions with in Lucha Underground. He held both to their feet as Santos Escobar pulled Tony D'Angelo aside on the outside of the ring, clearly up to something. Next up, a moment some fans of the original series have been waiting for. As El Jefe walked backstage, he was startled by someone who seemed to appear out of nowhere. The small luchador introduced himself to El Jefe as Aerostar. But the legendary high flyer said something wasn't right. He said the timeline was all wrong, something had changed, and he asked Undertaker where the order was, to which Taker replied that he had no idea what the order was. Aerostar was in shock at this, and then he got out of there in a flash. El Jefe Undertaker was very confused. We're reminded next of the scene from a couple of weeks ago where Angel Garza attacked his injured cousin Berto at the request of Santos Escobar. Then the following week, Angel helped eliminate Rey Mysterio from Aztec Warfare 5. If Angel was capable of doing this to his cousin and then stopping one of the biggest names in Lucha Libre from winning Aztec Warfare, then what is Angel's ceiling in Lucha Underground? These 2 clashed in Aztec Warfare 5, and while it was clear that there was deep-rooted hatred between them, most of that came from Dr. Wagner. El Grande Americano was just happy to be competing in the ring, and he seemed completely oblivious to the hatred and vitriol coming his way, and he may even be oblivious to the dangers of the Temple in general. But he ducked out of the way of a flying crossbody and followed up with an angle slam on Wagner to score the win here. In another cutscene, the monster Matanza was growing stronger. Dario Cueto and Mil Muertes were pleased with his progress after sacrificing both Kane and the Godfather, 2 friends of El Jefe the Undertaker. Dario said that his brother needs one more sacrifice, but it must be a current Lucha Underground fighter. Matanza must sacrifice them in the ring to gain full power, and then they can work on getting Katrina back. Mil Muertes snarled, but he was happy to hear Katrina's name. El Jefe came to us from his office next. He had another huge announcement that next week 7 ancient Aztec medallions will begin to be awarded. When all are claimed, those who possess them will fight for the Gift of the Gods Championship, and the first match for the first medallion will see Dragon Lee take on Carlito. And that's not all, because also next week, Penta and Samoa Joe will pick a poison for each other, as they both compete in singles matches against opponents chosen by their rival. This was an absolutely brilliant outing from both men, and could have gone on to be the best match since the revival of Lucha Underground. However, as the match wore on, it became clear that Angel Garza and Santos Escobar weren't interested in winning it. They were out there to make a statement, and eventually Escobar got into the ring and beat down Rey. Angel joined his leader in the post-match assault after the referee called for the bell. Santos and Angel continued stomping on the veteran, and nobody came out to save him. Vic Joseph and JBL commented that perhaps Dominic Mysterio would have done, if he wasn't out injured. A delighted Ethan Page and Chelsea Green were stood backstage with their newly won Lucha Underground tag team titles, and Chelsea Green pulled out the Page protection spray bottle she had gifted Ethan a few weeks ago. She said that they have this bottle to thank after Ethan smacked it over Dragon Lee's head last week, and Ethan actually agreed. He then confirmed with Chelsea, so it's anti-spirit, anti-gross, and anti-bad energy, right? To which she nodded and said, Rayo Americano is happy-go-lucky in the ring, and what an incredible talent he is. We all know the talents of Chad Gable, but since he's gone more serious, he's becoming a real threat to everyone he steps in the ring with. He was so close to winning Aztec Warfare 5 last week, and he followed it up with a brilliant match against a key ally of his rival, El Grande Americano, and a big win. After he locked Rayo in an ankle lock and made him tap out. The war between Gable and his group and the Los Americanos is far from over. Back in the office of El Jefe, Undertaker was about to speak to us when a delivery man knocked on the door and entered. Undertaker tried to no-sell it again, but he had a look on his face that said, no, not this again. He accepted the box and opened it on his desk, revealing the belongings of his friend Godfather, seemingly confirming his sacrifice to the gods, to El Jefe, who let out a big sigh. That's 2 friends lost to Matanza, Mil Muertes and Dario Cueto now, without a retaliation. Yet. So let me know in the comments, how should El Jefe retaliate against Dario Cueto's crew? And join me next time, where Penta and Samoa Joe will pick each other's opponents in Pick Your Poison, and new Trios champions will be crowned. Thanks for watching. Now make sure to like, comment and subscribe for free so you don't miss an episode. It'd be great to hear from you.